Just let me know. Am I good? Yeah. Have you ever considered the philosophy of having wealth? Today, I will be reading an excerpt from Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five, a classic American fiction novel. The novel tells the story of a soldier's experiences in World War II and his journeys through time. This excerpt is a monograph coming from the character Howard C. Campbell, who plays an American playwright that later becomes a Nazi propagandist. This passage contains observations on American culture. It touches on how Americans think of poverty as a personal failure rather than a social condition. I chose this reading because I've spent a lot of time with Kurt Vonnegut's stories, and I have analyzed Slaughterhouse-Five in an essay in my junior year of high school. In the following excerpt, I will be portraying the words of Howard C. Campbell to unveil Vonnegut's attempt to question the status quo and to provoke thinking for his readers. America is the wealthiest nation on earth, but its people are mainly poor, and poor Americans are urged to hate themselves. To quote the American humorist Ken Hubbard, "It ain't no disgrace to be poor, but it might as well be." It is in fact a crime for an American to be poor, even though America is a nation of poor. Every other nation has full traditions of men who were poor but extremely wise and virtuous, and therefore more estimable than anyone else with power and gold. No such tales are told by the American poor. They mock themselves and glorify their betters. The meanest eating or drinking establishment, owned by a man who is himself poor, is very likely to have a sign on its wall asking this cruel question: if you're so smart, why ain't you rich? Americans, like human beings everywhere, believe many things that are obviously untrue. Their most destructive untruth is that it is very easy for any American to make money. They will not acknowledge how in fact hard money is to come by, and therefore, those who have no money blame and blame and blame themselves. This inward blame has been a treasure for the rich and powerful, who have had to do less for the poor, publicly and privately, than any other ruling class since. Many novelties have come from America. The most startling of these, a thing without precedent, is a mass of undignified poor. They do not love one another because they do not love themselves. This monograph is an unforgiving criticism of the American dream. Throughout time, Slaughterhouse-Five has fought controversy and censorship due to its perceived heresy in America. The excerpt is a harsh yet thoughtful insight on how Americans consider wealth. It delves into the idea that some people think wealth is comparable to success or intelligence. I chose it. I hope that all of you take interest in the readings of Kurt Vonnegut and try to find other ways that Vonnegut makes connections between philosophy and society.